Time for the losers bracket. The Space-Time Warriors against Team Reverse, Battlefield of Eternity. Yeah, another best of 5 coming up, everybody. So we're headed straight into the first map of the day. This time we're starting with the 2-lane map. Battlefield is coming in. We got Hanzo that spanned immediately, so no scatter arrows on the Immortal this time. Now the Space-Time Warriors, they had of course a bit of a tough time in the winner bracket, and you can't really blame them. They went up against one of the Korean teams and they got their butt kicked. Team Fly had a lot of fun in that series. The Space-Time Warriors, not so much. Team Reverse, on the other hand, they already had to battle their way a bit through the lower bracket. They lost in the first round, and now they have another challenge in front of them. Now, Team Reverse is fully Chinese. Every single player on that side is Chinese, to my knowledge. On the side of the blue team, we at least have a couple of Koreans that are playing there. So the main bulk of the team is players from China, but we have a few Korean players on their side too. Now, notably, Stukov hasn't been banned. And with everything that we've seen over the past few days regarding the meta within China and Korea, Stukov and Malfurion are the two supports that are valued the most, with Stukov regularly being banned. So at this point, Stukov as a first pick has to at least be a consideration for you. You might want to go into another pick, but Stukov has to be on your mind. And they go for him. So Stukov gets taken immediately. We still got a lot of focus on the bans on damage this time. So they're looking at this and they're saying like, hey, Battlefield of Eternity, Immortal damage, what are we going to get rid of? And we get immediately 2 damage dealers locked in by Team Reverse, because they're just saying at the pace this is going, we might run out of good damage dealers for the map. Now, it's interesting to me personally that they went for Chromie over Liming, because I just think Liming fits the objective better. Chromie is, of course, just generally extremely strong, especially if you can lock targets down with stuns, and she serves a bit of a similar purpose at times when she can poke from a distance. But Liming has a lot of potential, and therefore, that's the thing. Now, we got Jimmy, and Jimmy has disappeared a bit. We get actually the full StarCraft setup for them. They start with Stukov, and then they have the Marine and the Firebat kicking in. Liming gets banned, since they haven't taken her yet. But I gotta admit that seeing Jimmy again is kind of cool. Jimmy just disappeared. He just flat out disappeared. He was played for a long time, and then a couple of patches came in. Jimmy himself wasn't really touched, but a lot of other things changed and changed the meta slightly away from him. And now he just vanished. We have him now in the situation of Battlefield of Eternity, still taken though. And the ban on Ana. Yeah, well, Chromie with a nano boost would have been kind of neat here. But what are the Chinese players now going for? Tychus, he's super powerful and of course popular here. We get Mei and Lucio. So after they started up with the damage dealers, they're going full Overwatch on us now. Trying to unleash the power of the OP, I suppose. Yeah, and let's find out what the blue team is locking in as the final 2 picks. Now we need a main tank from them, always assuming they don't want to play Blaze in a main tank position. So we can expect that they have something else for the bot lane. Something, by the way, that's also completely missing, as we're always talking about the comparison to the Western scene, is that we have not seen a single Zarya on a map where you can run a strong 4-man. We haven't seen that a single time. Just noting that, we've seen that a lot in the European scene at least. Battlefield of Eternity, everybody. We have Genji to fight Overwatch with Overwatch a little bit, Anubarak and Deathwing as the final picks. We're headed into game number 1. It's a best of 5 series. The Space-Time Warriors against Team Reverse.
Prepare yourselves for battle.
Game number 1, Space-Time Warriors against Team Reverse. And off we go. Left side of the map, we got Stukov for the support. The front line consists of Anubarak and Blaze, with Jimmy and Genji, the damage dealers. And they are, of course, also the ones that have to do the damage against the Immortal itself. And that's where Lucky in particular comes into play with his hero. On the right side of the map, then again, we got the Chinese team. We have Reverse with Deathwing and Mei. They also run Tychus, Chromie, and Lucio. So there's a fair amount of damage that they put into the game here. And Deathwing is already all the way up at the top. Alright, level 1, we got the Exterminator. That doesn't shock, obviously. We're still on Battlefield of Eternity, so you want to get that extra damage in. Talking about extra damage, seems like our Deathwing is turning into Deadwing very quickly here at the top. Yeah, easy kill. Genji riding in style on the money pick. But that was a good one. Nice gank against Deathwing, and he's already dead. I gotta say though that this is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the skin for Deathwing. As long as you don't go for the turkey, you don't go for the chicken skin, we're all good. We're all Gucci. He died, but I let that slide. The skin The skin makes it happen for me. I mean, look at this. In all of his majestic form. That's a skin. That's a skin. That's also some nice colors there. But of course, they're already losing quite a bit of ground. If you lose that wall this early in the game, you know that you are in trouble. So the initial moves that we're seeing from the Space Time Warriors are fantastic. That's exactly what they need to do here. And I really, really like it. Now, we have with level 4 kicking in for Chromie the time troubles. We also got the Dragon Soul in as a level 1 on the side of Blaze, the Neural Stim Pack. He doesn't work around the regeneration globes. He could, honestly. A lot of players are still doing it on the map. But given that this is a 2-lane map where both of the lanes are very far away, yeah, it's pretty sweet. Now, down at the bottom of the map with the camp taken, the red team is trying to push this back a little bit and respond in kind, and they have now also taken a wall down. So Reverse at least reacted to what happened at the top lane, and I like that a lot. And they are trying to change things up. Both of the teams are pretty much just attempting to speedrun all of this. So they are pushing for structures, not only the fountain, but also the fort. And if the teams more or less agree that they will just take the structures down, all that it does is accelerate the game. They would still be at the same amount of experience, roughly, but they would accelerate the entire game here and make it interesting around at least a few of the objectives. But it's only another 20 seconds until we have the next objective pop up, the first one of the game. And therefore, we can assume that they're making a play for their Siege Giant camp very, very soon. As usual now, the Master Assassin is being taken here. We have Deathwing with the Heatwave. Crystallize is in for Mei, full-on sustain for her. And Incinerating Gauntlets for our boy Blaze. Yeah, so there it is. And now, of course, a question of what's going to happen around the objective now. Who takes the first one? Yeah, it's always kind of fun when teams decide to trade early structures. I mean, it doesn't really matter which map you're on, but it always accelerates the entire way that the game is running. You get earlier catapult access. The distance to safety is, of course, reduced. You can't just easily move back behind the fort now. Even just taking the fountains down helps, because the fights become a lot more fierce since you can't just simply fall back and tap, get mana and get health. So I kind of like when it happens. We don't see it a lot these days, but every single time that it actually does happen, it changes the pace of the game very, very quickly, and it's cool to watch. But that's also a good lead now. Jimmy is using Exterminator to burn this down very quickly. Now the red team reacts in kind and focuses their 4-man at the bot lane, so they catch up. But Jimmy pretty much did that single-handedly. And with a bit more coordination of the Space Time Warriors, I think they could have delayed this and taken a significant lead on the halftime show. Which didn't work out for them the way they intended to, but now it's just a race, and it's an interesting one. I think the blue team is going to be able to lock this one in. On the right side, we got Blaze and Anubarak delaying it, but Blaze pays the price. And Anubarak, can he get out? Unlikely. He's not the only one that's on the run. Genji is also moving back, and off we go. Now, obviously, the Immortal is traveling down to the bottom of the map. Top lane has already been pushed earlier. Immortal always travels to the least pushed lane. And that is, obviously, the bottom lane for the blue team. So now a chance to take the gate down here as well and push through that. And we'll see. We currently have our little setup with level 7 talents kicking in any moment. It's a small lead. It's not really something that you can exploit. But the Immortal is taken down anyways. And I gotta say that this didn't do jack shit. It took a tower down. Congratulations. What are you gonna do with that? I'm not sure if I like that split that they were going for here. 2-3 split in an attempt to drop the top fort and still hoping for damage at the bottom with the shield already being slow. It's not really working as well as they were hoping for, but with Deathwing dying, they finally get the fort. Now, they will have to sacrifice their own at the bot lane if Team Reverse decides to really commit to it. But I guess they're a little bit afraid that the rotation is now coming. Thing is that Lucio has sniffed that out. So Lucio's seen at least 2 heroes at the top, so he knows that they're not going to have massive problems at the bot lane. Blaze was the only one that rotated down. So technically, red team could have, with the information they had, pushed for the fort and try to get it and equalize the situation. Blue team was in a spot where I believe they could have done more. They could have coordinated that effort a bit more than they did, but they still got the top fort and they got the camp, so it's not too much loss. And that engage down here, that's a very different story. Yes, now we're talking. Look at Zukov, our bad boy, with a lurking arm and the growing infestation here. Not only sexual innuendo, but also a fantastic talent to take. And that leads to a quick kill. But they haven't won this one yet. And they might lose it because everybody is so low. And now the Deathwing is jumping in. They're just dead and dying. Everybody is getting absolutely wrecked here. The StarCraft squad has just now been annihilated. And that is bad news. Team Reverse. Initially they struggled. Check this fight out. Especially the control that we got from Stukov. But that was just way too much damage. And Deathwing obliterated them there towards the end. Now we have 5 kills to 3. The fort down here has been eliminated. Nearly level 10 around the next objective. And boy, are the Space Time Warriors in trouble now. Yeah, that bottom fight murdered them. They went from, hey, we're slightly ahead, to, oh shit, we have a problem. Within 10 seconds, I want to say. So now we got the level 10 in. We get the sound barrier. We get the snowball for May. And the halftime show was won. I still find it incredible that the blue team was able to do this much damage to the Immortal. And I honestly believe that Team Reverse, they need to... Yeah, they need to focus this down a little bit better. Now they have an opportunity here. What are you guys afraid of? Go in, you got level 10, wreck them. It's an invitation. If they start to fight you and you have level 10 and they don't, do it. Like, just go for it. Get May towards the front, zone them out, move past the Immortal, and if they're getting a little bit too cheeky, slide in, drop the avalanche on them and kick their butt. Yeah, a bit hesitant here. Half of the game is really knowing when you can push your advantage, and around level 10, this is really where the party starts. Now, big Immortal, of course, now still for the red team, and they have to crush that fort. Why are they so hesitant? Deathwing is at the bot lane, I get it, but boys, what are you doing? Control that space a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. Nice avalanche this time, but I don't really understand why Team Reverse is this hesitant to make moves here. They are nearly giving this Immortal up for free. I get that Deathwing is at the bot lane, so they're a bit worried about a 4 versus 5. But first of all, Deathwing should have moved top. Second of all, if you're starting to push, check those bushes. You have Chromie, she can just fire in every single one of them. You can use Lucio a little bit for it too. I mean, this is the second Immortal and you barely open the wall up. You need to do a bit more than that. Do better, boys. So far, I really think that game number 1 is the game of lost opportunities. Both teams had some advantages that they didn't really capitalize on. And if they would, we could have seen someone already start a small snowball. Can be stopped always, don't get me wrong. But it would have been a great start for them. Now, anyways, as it stands, we have the push set up topside. And this is of course a late camp that has been taken. Usually you want to claim that around the objective, but they didn't because they had level 10. Now they are hoping to use the shamans to push this a little bit harder. And they're even popping ults here. Not what I expected, but they heavily commit to the fort now. They really want this bad boy. And they just figure that they can use their heroics later on during the team fight again if they pop them this early. So the fort should fall. They should be able to get this one. But just imagine that level of commitment at the top lane with the Immortal. That would have given them pretty much the same result. So they are going for it a bit later than expected, but they're still making their play. That leads to another half-level advantage. And the timing isn't quite going for them, because we have now another minute until Tychus can use his Odin. Should still be able to get it here, but the run to the bot lane is already true. So damage output, we can take another quick look at it. 22,000 for Deathwing and 15k for our boy Tychus. Genji is also at 15,000 and they go for the camp again. Now, with the Shaman camp just taken a few seconds ago, that means you can't take it around the objective. Neither can, by the way, the blue team. So both teams have no option of pressuring the lanes while the fight for the objective is up. And that takes a macro advantage off the map for you, because if your opponent is forced to retreat with 1 or 2 heroes to stop a wave pushing in with the mercenary camp, it gives you time to focus on the Immortal. So these are 2 strategic things that both teams have been abandoning. Since both of them did it, it doesn't really make a big difference, but it's still a bit odd to see that nobody is trying to use those timings to their advantage. Now, I guess we are in the loser bracket for a reason. not trying to be mean here or anything, but yeah. Now, we got the hits coming in. Level 13 is, of course, ready for both teams now. Halftime show has been taken. Well done by Team Reverse. So we see them by now with the Neosteel coding. We got the timeout for Chromie. But at the end of the day, you really want to poke this even further. You want to lock this one in. And if you can go for keep, that would of course be the dream. So I'm going to try to make that happen. 1 level advantage for Team Reverse gives them a stats lead over their opponent. And again, look at this. This is free damage. This is totally free damage. Absolutely free damage. More than a halftime show. Team Reverse, they just moved away from it and they let the blue team do whatever they wanted here. It's crazy to me. Some of the decision making in our first game today is absolutely bonkers. Jimmy gets attacked on the left, the Immortal is taken, and Reyna is dead. What a weird game. What a weird game. Ults either not used or very late. Now a second hero dies on the blue team side. They lose a third as Genji dies. Say it with me. Clown Fiesta. I'm not quite sure if those boys haven't woken up yet or not, but I would recommend a strong coffee. And here comes the Immortal without any assist, of course. They're jumping on to Blaze at the top lane, so another gank is set up, and there's a staggered death. I like that a lot. A chance to maybe go for keep even. Chromie is still at the bot lane defending. Now Tychus is popping his Odin. And, well, there we go. Töre. Yeah, Benjamin Blümchen over here. Making himself known. It's kind of funny to me also that Chromie is the one dealing with the Immortal here. By now she should probably move towards the top side. That thing is not going to do anything. And what did they accomplish with a top side push and with Tychus popping Odin? They took down one tower.
Thus ends my assault on hell. I must rest.
Yeah. But they got level 16. Now, don't get me wrong. They lost the Immortal for absolutely no reason whatsoever. They just gave it up, even though they have won the halftime show big time, and then just decided, like, nah, we don't want this thing. But then they won the team fight, which led them to an early level 16, so they now have a talent advantage. But I gotta admit that, given what we've seen so far in the tournament, also from these two teams, by the way, not only from other teams, no. From these two too, was just way better. So I don't know what's going on in game number 1, but a lot of the stuff that's being done here is questionable at best. As it still stands, Reverse is ahead. So yes, they might have lost a few opportunities to get even farther ahead, and you should always get farther ahead when you're ahead in the game. Use those advantages to snowball it hard. But even without it, they now have 1.5 level lead over the blue team. They are on level 16, so they can use that to siege up a bit at the bot lane, which is exactly what they're currently trying to do. And opening the walls up alone is also very, very helpful. Now they have vision on Blaze at the top, which means push this shit. Push it and push it hard. Push it real good, baby. Let's go. 9 kills to 3. Open that wall up and then set up for the Immortal. Oh, unless of course you can get a kill. That sum wasn't too bad. Now, when are the camps popping up? Another 3 minutes. Again, taken outside of the objective. Macro game is not really their forte. Now, another hit, and Genji is down. Alright, what was that Sudoku move? Why is Genji committing Sudoku here when they don't have level 16? These guys are trying to make me angry today. Like, what is happening? Why would you make that attack? Blaze has been soaking at the top lane the entire time. The red team isn't pushing for your keep, and Genji just looks there and says like, I brought shame to my family, let's solve a math puzzle. And then he dies. So now it's 16 versus 16 and they're taking a 4 versus 5. Let's guess how that's gonna go. There's the staggered death on Jimmy. And of course they're going for more. They're trying another kill. They go for Stukov. And they should get the kill, but yeah, well, Lucio is locked down by the cocoon. So the halftime show is already taken. We have 22,000 damage for Blaze. He's the top damage dealer, by the way, for the team. Nubarak, are they going to get the kill here? And Nubarak doesn't even know what's happening. He gets feared in one direction, moved out by Chromie, Sandblast hits, Deadwing strikes again, so he's dead for the second time. And it's insanity. 12 kills to 4, 2 level lead, and here comes Tychus. As he slowly starts to chunk down the topside Immortal. Down at the bottom of the map. Yes, there we got another one moving in quickly. But oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, spicy. Like, I don't know what to say. It's a weird game. It's a very weird game. Deathwing is, by the way, the one that died 3 times so far in this. Now they're going for the top. In case you were wondering, top side, we still have, well, parts of the wall standing. Not a whole lot, though. And it's interesting. At this pace, the blue team should, sorry, the red team should be able to take it. But I wouldn't put it past the Space Time Warriors to somehow pull off a couple of kills and then reverse things. No pun intended here. It's not my choice as the name. No pun intended. So here comes the push. They need to win this fight or it's going to be lights out soon. TM. South barrier. And they're making the play with the snowball. Bunker, baby. Yeah, but they are already in trouble. And the keep is falling. The first one to die is Jimmy as he gets chased by Deathwing. No chance against the mighty dragon. Stukov is dead. The StarCraft trio is once again annihilated. Yeah, this is game, everybody. This is game. 30-40 seconds for 3 of the heroes on the blue team side. The push for the core. The Immortal's still alive. Only 2 defenders in play. And of course, they can take it right here now. The best of 5 series in the losers bracket starts with Battlefield of Eternity and a win for Team Reverse. Yeah, the Immortal alone is going to finish this one, but Genji is now dead too. So a bit of a scrappy game. Level 20 talents have kicked in, but the game is ending in favor of Team Reverse. They're able to make it work. The lead for them in this series. Tychus, by the way, 1 kill away from completing the Master Assassin. A little bit of a sad panda move there. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Game number 2, Team Reverse with the lead against the Space Time Warriors, and that first game was scrappy. I mean, holy hell, so many strange decisions being made on the macro side. Well, honestly, at times it really didn't feel like there was any macro. It was just, let's go and fight somewhere. So it was a bit strange and awkward, especially the complete lack of going for any kind of lane push during the objective with the mercenary camp was a bit weird. I think the first objective was the only one when both of the teams went for mercenary control so they could push the shaman camp through lane. After that, none of that happened, so it was a little bit awkward. But again, at the end of the day, results matter, and Team Reverse locked in the victory, so for them everything is looking Gucci right now. As we're heading into Infernal Shrines, there's a couple of questions. Now, Stukov gets banned this time. He lost the last map, but this time he gets banned. I want to know if Mephisto, for example, gets played again. I would expect Tychus to be either banned out or very highly prioritized, as usual in Infernal Shrines. But you could also go into Mephisto again, because the Chinese and Korean teams thus far have shown a higher priority on Mephisto than even the Europeans, who are playing him occasionally. Mostly Macke and a few people that emulate him. But yeah, anyways, early Tychus pick.
Damn.
We are shocked. We are shocked!
Nope.
Okay, not really, but again. Vala and Johanna as another hero that we've seen the Chinese pick with a lot of passion. They love Jojo. They really, really like Johanna. And also, they like sometimes the Condemn builds that we've seen. The level 16 talent kicking in with the Vacuum. Vala has been played with a lot of arrow builds. Not really a whole lot of multi-shot, even on Infernal Shrines. Now we'll see if this is an exception. Diablo and Malfurion. Very, very solid setup and start for the Space Time Warriors into game number 2. Team Reverse, of course, with that Vala and Jojo. Not looking too shabby either. Yeah, when it comes to bans, side laners are all up right now. So you're talking about Urel, you're talking about our boy Leo, you're talking about Blaze again. And we could see 2 out of the 3. Malthael gets banned. It's kind of wild. Malthael is a ban. If anything, I could have seen the red team look in Malthael. But the blue team with the Malthael... I know that Malthael is more popular in Korea and China than he is in Europe at this point in time. But yeah, still. A little bit wild to see that. Okay. I would be way more worried that they're locking one of the 3 in that I just talked about. So yeah. Okay, here comes Mephisto. He gets banned again. Already expected something to happen along those lines. We got Leoric. He can also drain Dibbles a little bit, but we're obviously looking forward to that Entomb. Anduin, the crybaby. Yeah, the Robin of the Nexus is now in. I can't really decide. On the one hand, he's Robin because he's such a beta, it's scary. And then again, he also always strikes me a little bit like Nick Carter. But then, if you think about it, Nick Carter was also always a beta. So, I guess it fits. Last 2 picks. And what do we get? Side lane. Is it a Blaze? Is it a Urel? Sonya. Aggressive version. Alright, fair enough. With Tychus and now Tassadar would have probably gone for something along the lines of Blaze, but don't get me wrong. Sonya, totally fine, absolutely alright. So they go for the Sonya variation here, try to get even more aggression in. That leaves us with the last pick for the red team. They of course hope to extend their lead to a 2-0 in the best of 5, and they pick Genji. Alright guys, Infernal Shrines, map number 2, Space Time Warriors against Team Reverse.
Prepare yourselves for battle.
Prepare yourselves for battle. Well, the blue team is definitely prepared. They have the strong front line with Diablo and Sonya. We got Tychus and Tassadar for the damage this time. And of course also for those force walls with Malfurion for all them heals. On the right side of the map though, what do we get here? We got first and foremost our Leo and Jojo set up at the front line. Anduin is staying in the back. Obviously diligently observing what's happening, so he knows exactly when to run away. And Vala and Genji, those are the 2 that will drop the damage. And Vala, thank God, the multi-shot build. Now, again, I'm not a hater on the arrow build in the slightest. I like the build, it's great. But it was very, very strange to me the last time that we played on Infernal Shrines and Vala went into arrow build. This is a map where you want to shine with the AoE on the shrine fights, and so multi-shot just comes natural here, I'd say. Now we got Awesom's Renewal on level 1 and also the Laws of Hope, meaning that both of the frontliners are trying to take some of the pressure off Anduin. And, well, talking about pressure, Tassadar is succumbing to a lot of pressure against him. That's, on the other hand, a really nice play against Genji that nearly led to a counter kill. But he's able to swift strike out after the root duration is over, so good for them. The red team with another quick hit, and the brawl continues. You gotta love China for at least that. These guys are always brawling. And Anduin, that happens when you're trying to fight. There's a reason why you're just throwing light around, dude. You're not packing a punch. You need to stay in the back line and take it easy. Thankfully, your team has your back and gets the double kill to make up for Anduin inting. Yeah, he's trying to run it down bot lane. But yeah, look at that counter kill here. So first, Anduin is on the run and dies. You gotta love it. I mean, that's really why I put the replay in. And then, of course, you have that little move against Malfurion. And Genji is having a lot of fun here and gets the double kill. Now, there's always a couple of people that are like, Khaldor, why do you hate Anduin so much? And I've explained it several times in the past, but I think I have to mention it every now and then. Because people, yeah, don't watch all the videos. So pretty much I don't have anything against the hero. But I hate the character from a lore perspective. Simply because I had a big tournament in China where we casted for 2 weeks. We were in China for 2 weeks. And every single time that we were on the broadcast, we had this weird World of Warcraft trailer where it was this battle between Anduin and Sylvanas, and I had to listen to that crybaby cry for his mommy every single day. For the Alliance! I want my mommy! And if you have to listen to that shithead crying his eyes out like 10, 15 times a day for 2 weeks in a row, then you would hate that fucker too. So yeah, I have PTSD because of Anduin, and I therefore have no problems with just dissing him whenever I can. Anyways, he died again, so it's a good day for me. We have top side by now. The first shrine starting up. Level 4 talents have kicked in for both. Neil Peasants is in play. We also got the Arsenal. Seems like they're trying to go for Jojo at the bottom of the map. That's not really going to work. What I really like, by the way, are interactions like the one between Tassadar and Diablo. Now, it works also with Leoric, but anything that can simply, you know, create like a structure, like the electric fence, for example, allows Diablo to slam targets into it, and I like that a lot. That's always cool when you have a team that can make good use out of that combo. We've seen that in HGC, we've seen it in other tournaments, and it's always awesome. Now, Dibbles died, so in this case, Tassadar couldn't really help. But that means the blue team has to retreat a bit. They got the initial lead on the objectives, so they were able to lock that in. But besides that, we now have the position taken again by Team Reverse. So they are attempting to reverse the damage that the blue team has done. Yeah, Malfurion is dead, and they're going for Ender, and again, he's caught on the wrong side of this battle. Genji's dead too. Yeah, they don't know where to go. These guys are totally lost here, so the brawl continues. Instead of just taking a good position on the shrine, they're brawling, 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 and it seems that Vala is going to pay the price if there's another grenade. Oh, 50 HP, and she gets out. Leo brought them to 36 points on the objective. And there's the Arcane Punisher, but Leoric dies too. So they get the Punisher, but they don't get a lot of value. And off we go. That's the move right there. It's kind of funny. And they proc the jump in front of the gate. Now, to be fair, there's nobody here to push with it. So it's not as bad as it could be. But still, are you serious? Bait it over, baby. And they lose now. Sonya in the middle. She gets ganked by the rest of the team. It is continuing where it started from game number 1. It's a scrappy gameplay here, which in and of itself makes it kind of entertaining and attractive. You just don't know what happens, but it's kind of fun. So one tower is down. They did a bit of damage with the Punisher, not the Immortal, at the top side. Vala's nearly done, went into hot pursuit here too. Yeah, it's a bit wild. We got 13,000 damage talking about Vala, so yeah, she locked the 13,000 in here. 11,000 from Tychus. Camps are now taken and they're trying to take control again. Anduin has died 3 times. How has Anduin died 3 times? Like, you are not supposed to run towards the front line, dude. Yeah. So, the support is getting farmed here quite heavily, and I'm not so sure how that happened. Because after level 10, I get it a lot more. If Sonya goes leap, for example, she can go into the back line. But, I don't know. So, down at the bottom of the map, we have already a bit of a play for the camp going on. But Diablo has already sniffed that out. I think they also know what's happening there. Yeah, but there's the level 10s, and we get the Falling Sword. Falling Sword and Wrath of the Berserker. Falling Sword with Light Bomb, please. Yeah, they're gonna go for the better version and play it with Genji, but I always thought it was fun if a team can coordinate it with Falling Sword too. But yeah, Genji is gonna make that play with a Light Bomb engage, or at least that's the way that those fights should play out. If they will, that's a different question. But yeah, they can make that play right now. So Anduin already moving in. There's the Entomb. Off we go. Genji, Light Bomb. And he doesn't close the distance fast enough, but they still get the kill against Tassadar. Now Leo might also fall. Gets attacked here. Anduin keeping them in play. Zipping Jojo out. They re-engage on Genji. Sonya totally unimpressed, by the way. Vala isn't here either. And they're still trying to get another kill. 7 kills to 5. The red team slightly in the lead. Next objective should hit soon TM. By now 20 stacks also for Jojo, so another 10% healing that she gets out of her Laws of Hopes on level 1. But it's interesting. It's kind of wild. It's an interesting game. I like this, by the way. So they're at least trying to take the camp this time. And Sonya does the same thing. I've been criticizing them on the last map for not taking the objective at the appropriate moment in time and not playing the macro game. But now they're doing exactly that, so good on them. Trying to create some top lane pressure with all of this. Yeah, at the bottom. They were trying to get the wall here for the stun, just in case you were a little bit confused. So if you're like, hey, what is that going to do? So they were trying to get the Diablo stun set up. That's all that this was supposed to do. But the camps are going to collide at the top side. The shrine is up, and it is time to party. 5 kills to 7, and let's go. A little bit of a swing here from our boy Leo. And let's see what they can pull off here. Who takes it? That wall is not going to really do anything for them. It's time for Odin, baby. That ult is so strong here. And they got, of course, Archon as well. They got the double trouble. And we have Tranquility on top of it. Massive sustain on the point now. And that's an objective. Yeah, the good old days. Anybody remember Alpha? Odin and Tychus Archon with Bloodlust. Those were the days, baby. You throw an Abathar in, and back then you could copy the ult. And all of a sudden you were talking about like double Tychus, double Odin, plus Archon with Bloodlust. Yeah, it was the good old days. So yeah, they got the moves here. We got the level 13 now. But again, they're not pushing with this. What is it with teams now taking objectives in this series and then just absolutely saying, hey, let's forget about it? And what was that Entomb? What? What? What was that? That's not how we play. I mean, again, like, what are you doing with that Entomb? Did he just fat finger the R button or what's going on there? Now, the blue team locks in the Punisher, doesn't push with it, moves the entire team topside to try and go for Leoric kill. Leoric drops the Entomb. Ooh, and Genji dies. Anduin trying to help him here, but that didn't work. Yeah, talking about Scrappy, this is going to be the entire series, guys. I'm personally more excited about the second best of 5 today. That's going to be insane. Very entertaining at least, but here it seems like both of those need, I don't know, an energy drink, a coffee. There's an Entomb. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, baby. Yeah, trying to make the play here. Could have taken the kill against Tassadar earlier, but they still lock it in. Sonya is at the top. This is a 5 versus 4. No, it's actually not because Genji was dead, so it's a 4 versus 4, or at least it was until they got the kill. So they were able to lock that in. And right now, we have Sonya still pushing. Nobody gives a shit. Genji finally realized that it might be a good idea to stop her, so he's moving topside. But down here, the party continues. They're just crawling this out. They're turning this into an ARAM. Full-on damage. 8 kills to 7, level 15 for both. And they go for dibbles. Where's the body blocking when you need it? Yeah, they're trying to. Couldn't quite make it work, and also don't really want to go into that choke point. Tassadar's already on his way back, and he would have capitalized on that for sure. Vala with the 25,000 damage right now. They try to go for Diablo once again. And there's the Entomb, and that should be the end of him. Diablo is dead. He had the souls on the baseline, so he's gonna come back. And here comes Genji with a light bomb and the double kill. Nice. So they get Tychus, they get Diablo, they close the gap in experience. Sonya has, at the same time, still no interest in joining the fight and is moving to the top again. Leo will mirror her. Went for the Mithril Maze on level 16. And there it is again. Told you about it earlier. Vacuum. The shrinking vacuum for JoJo as she's using it again. The Chinese teams, they love her. They love her and they love this talent. And she has a lot of stacks by now too. That's an additional 15% to what the quest talent offers in the first place. Still an attempt to go for a play here. Once we hit level 20, she's of course also going to get the cooldown reduction, so that's another big one. But yep, here they go for the camp again. And both teams do, so they definitely started to mix it up a little bit compared to what we've seen in the previous game. Play more around the objective. This time it's a top shrine, so it's not that big of a deal, but of course it still matters. The stacking for Tassadar is also still ongoing. He's sitting at 150 now. Push towards the top. 7 kills, 2 10s, so the red team's still ahead. Guys, we're 12 minutes into the game and we haven't seen a fort fall. Just saying. No fort has been destroyed, and we are 12 minutes in. Here comes the attack against Diablo again, and he's a weak kitten at that point. No baseline stacks, only 34, it's pretty much nothing. And Genji slice and dice, and he's jumping in, he wants the kills, and he gets at least the first. Here comes the light bomb on Leo, what? And he gets grenaded. Yeah, he's gonna go full on for the Bruno Mars cosplay and catches the grenade to the face. But Tychus gets murdered a moment later, so a good counter kill. They try to go for Tassadar. Right, instead even focus on Sonya, but nah, Tassadar is still in trouble. They jump out. They need some healing though. But Anduin is once again trying to use the sword. Dude, if we learn anything, Anduin, that is that you are useless with the sword, dude. I don't know why you even carry that thing. Every single time I see you with that sword, I'm more scared for you than for your opponent, because I'm really afraid that you just hold it on the wrong end and cut yourself. So don't do that, baby. Just stay in the back line. Leave the rest up to Genji. He knows how to do that. Yeah, Genji with the kill. They kill Malfurion and they kill Tassadar. Sonya is just AFKing, by the way. I mean, Sonya the entire time has pretty much just said, "Look at my siege damage. Look at my siege damage. I'm helping." Sonya in a previous life was a specialist main. 100%. I mean, 100%. You know exactly the type that I'm talking about. It's the player in Storm League that you're begging to help out during the team fight. It's the Zagara, Nazebo, Murky player, you name it. The Sylvanas player that has been side laning the entire game, and you are begging on every single objective. Please help us. Please, please. While the only thing that comes from that guy is like, look at my siege damage. Look at my siege damage. I'm helping. And then accusing you of throwing the fights. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It happened to all of us over the last couple of years. Yeah, the so-called specialist mains. I'm maining specialists. Oh, you mean you're shit at the game. I got it. Thank you for clarifying. 8 kills to 14. Sonya, to be fair to Sonya, I don't want to go too much on a tangent here. But to be fair on Sonya, she has been the one getting the most experience for them. So in a lot of the cases when she started to split onto the side lane, it was the best thing that she could do, and oftentimes she did it when it was a 4 versus 5 to begin with. But you know what I'm talking about. So either way, we got the quest completed for Leo. At the pace this is going, things are looking great for Team Reverse. And yes, it is nearly level 20 for them. That's the cooldown reduction for Jojo kicking in. And of course, this is gonna be fan-fucking-tastic. Rain, our Leo player, is already getting pinged. He activated the trade value a couple of times in this game. And there's the Burning Despair. Who needs Buried Alive? Silence? I'm not landing my tombs anyways. Waste the talent. Let's go Burning Despair, baby. So there we got level 20 for them now. And this is, of course, the moment when they can take another fort down. They already eliminated the one earlier at the top. And off we go. Heaven's Fury, the Far Flight Quiver. And Anduin is already quivering in his boots as he's waiting for the next battle. The Inner Fire. Yeah, some of that wouldn't really be too bad for him. Daddy would be proud. But no variant in this game. Now, we got level 20 on the other side too. The Force Barrier's in. We got the Ignore Pain, the Hellgate, and Commandeer Odin, the big red button now. It's party time. They're looking for the next one. Next objective, by the way, spawns mid lane. 16 minutes in. Both teams on level 20. Only 3 forts in general have been destroyed. And here comes the pew pew pew. Vala already vaulting away here. But I want to see the Jojo action now. Give me a good light bomb engage with Genji light bomb and Johanna jumping in with Heaven's Fury and a good sheet. By the way, 50 stacks nearly now on the Laws of Hope. 50. That means we are talking at this point about 45% heal on Jojo's activatable. That's on a 40-second cooldown. Every 40 seconds you can heal 45% of your hit point bar. That's kind of nuts if you think about it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So this is a bit sponkers and nicely done. There's a lot of sustain on Johanna. And she's already working on even more than that. The fuck was that? What? Did you just fat finger her ult? What? What is happening here? First team 2 earlier, now Jojo says like, yeah, let's go. And just ults? Okay. I mean, some of the plays that are being made here are kind of special. But, I mean, it's gonna be back for the fight, so don't get me wrong, she's gonna have it. But what was that? I mean, anyways, now, here comes the play. Keep in mind, we got Archon, and we got on top of that, no Twilight Archon, by the way, and we got Odin. Unless, of course, he dies. And yes, he dies before he even pops Odin. Well, yeah, okay, that could be game even. They're all dying. They're all dying. They go for Tazada too. No ults have been used at the first few seconds of the fight for the blue team. It's like they were all AFK. And that is a 5-man team wipe, everybody. 5-man team wipe. Keep Leo on the shrine, move to the top, and take a double keep here at least. Maybe even game. What? I mean, they literally refused to use some of the ults in the last fight. Did Jojo jump on the wave again? I guess she did. But in this case, why not? Jump on the wave, girl. Reset that cooldown. That's game. Okay, that fight, I don't know about you, but that was a little bit anticlimactic. Yeah, they got murdered. Absolutely murdered. And now the core is falling. That's a 2-0. They absolutely cleaned house in this one. So that's game 2-0. Team Reverse has taken a massive lead over the Spacetown Warriors with a second victory on Infernal Shrines. Sky Temple, game number 3, maybe even the last one of the series here. Team Reverse against the Space-Time Warriors. And well, as it happens, double entendre over here, but in order to win the series, the Space-Time Warriors need a reverse sweep. Or sweep Team Reverse, no matter how, depending on how you want to look at it. So yeah, okay, so as bad as these puns are, we got our Vala ban here on Sky. The game is still a bit wonky between the two of them. A lot of interesting decisions that we're seeing. But what are we getting? We have Stukov and Vala banned out right at the beginning of our game. Sky Temple, of course, mixes things up a bit. Could see some globals, which we haven't seen so far in this particular one. So no Dehaka up to this point, no false stat. Maybe they play a role now. And I have to highlight again that when it comes to differences in meta between the Western region, and particularly Europe, and what we see from Korea and China, the one thing that stands out the most is that they do not play Brightwing at all. Brightwing, huge pick in the European scene, but Brightwing isn't even touched on the Asian server, not even a little bit. Now, there's a couple of other differences too. Like a lot of them are map dependent. Rexa, for example, not being played at all. We haven't seen any plays around Kerrigan, which we still see on the European side. Zeratul was at least banned, but a lot of these melee assassins that you see in the European gameplay are non-existent over here. Now, that's something. There's of course some other priorities that we also talked about and touched upon earlier. You have a ban on Johanna, for example, against the Chinese team, and that happened a lot of times now because Chinese teams in general seem to like Johanna a lot, especially with Vacuum on level 16. A lot of the things are very similar still. I mean, Greymane has started to make a bit of an appearance in the European scene too. Very much so more played on the Chinese and Korean side than on the European side, but at least there's a bit of an overlap. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. But anyways, now we got Lucio again as our support. We have also, after the ban on Red Riding Hood, a ban on Sylvanas. In comes Malfurion. Malf is very high up the picking order here. Not always an insta-pick as a support, but sometimes even banned out together with Stukov, the Admiral still having the highest priority. Junkrat, okay, banned out. Medivh, by the way, another hero that we're not seeing at all on the Korean and Chinese side. Now, Medivh is always a little bit of a hit or miss from the European players too. Sometimes you have an entire tournament where Medivh is barely touched, but then you have other matches where all of a sudden Medivh pops up everywhere, and from series to series sees more play, will be banned out early. Stitch is also a little bit more popular on the European side. I mean, Vikings are occasionally getting played depending on the map. Not so much here. So I would say the meta is a bit more narrow when we're talking about China and about Korea. But, well, as I say, there is a bit of an adjustment. So we have a double support now with Uther doubling as the main tank, and we have Zeratul. So this is a little bit more so in line what we sometimes see on the European side. Maybe not exactly that combo, because they are getting real squishy here. You have Greymane and Zeratul already, but the double support idea that sometimes exists is still in play here. Now, when you see a double support in Europe these days, what oftentimes happens is that you have a really good range damage dealer that you're trying to support and keep alive. That normally happens with Vala, but could happen here too. Oh, and they go way out. Arthurs against this lineup. Against Greymane and Zeratul, they go for Arthurs. And this is getting wild. Game 3 is getting wild. Team Reverse with the aggressive plays, and on the other side we get Arthurs. Okay, I did not see some of those late game picks happening here. Sky Temple, everybody, game number 3, so a chance for Team Reverse to close out the series with the 3-0. Let's see if they can make it work. We have the third game coming up in the best of 5. Game number 3, and we got our boy Arthurs in the game. I like it. Arthurs being played is kind of cool, not going to lie. For now, we have on the left side Malfurion, Diablo, Tychus, Arthurs, and Dehaka. A lot of melee here. Tychus being protected quite heavily. And as you can see on the right side of the map, it is Team Reverse with a 2-0 lead, so an opportunity to get the full 3-0. We currently have Malthael, Greymane, Uther, Lucio, and Zeratul. So a double support is coming in with a lot of damage. And it's a bit of a crazy lineup. It's very, very aggressive. More so on the squishy side, but if you can run that game and get an advantage, then maybe you are able to snowball it hard. I'm a little bit concerned since there's so much melee on the other side and really beefy heroes with Dehaka, Arthurs, and Diablo being around. That might be a target-rich environment for Malthael. But yeah, I'm a bit afraid of exactly that happening. People ganking up on a single assassin and then taking him out. It's not going to be easy to get those kills in for Team Reverse. They really have to try and target Malfurion and also Tychus. But given the amount of CC that exists here, that might become tricky. So, great start for the Space Time Warriors. I mean, nothing insane. They got a kill, so yeah, great. But what else can they do? That's the bigger question. Let's see what they can do for now. They already have the 1 kill against 0. Currently, Zeratul, he's trying to go for the mobility with the Shadow Hunter that we have. A little bit of a stun happening, but nothing too forceful just yet. It will be an interesting one. The double support gives you a lot of sustain, and I suppose that on level 10 we get the Divine Shield. I would be a little bit shocked to see the stun, because I don't really think it gives you enough. The Divine Shield lets you operate just a bit longer with those damage dealers, so that should be the weapon of choice. Yeah, Zeratul has to, of course, use his mobility to jump out of these fights, so he's going to be in trouble. But as I said, they have a lot of damage, and they could technically also try to go for an early boss pick with someone like Greymane. You don't have that much time that you have to invest on your on the spot, so you can just try and run that. But here is the problem once again. Can you take someone like Arthur's down in a reasonable time frame before the allies move in? Is that going to be a Tormented Souls game? That's honestly another big question here, because I could also see them just trying to play around the Last Rites, but so far Last Rites has not really played a role on the Chinese and Korean side. That's more so a European pick. So we'll see. Now you have a lot that you can do there either way. Darkness Descends as a level 4 talent. Not something that we are seeing a lot, but the attack speed gain that you get out of it is of course quite neat. And yeah, that can help you to chunk a target down very, very quickly once you leech up on it. So if Zeratul gets the opportunity to go for a single target, you know, that might just be the one that makes the difference for him. We'll see. We'll see how he can play that out. Every single time that you have damage healers like this and melee assassins, it honestly is more of a skill question than anything else. You have someone that knows how to play the hero properly and to really threaten that backline, and he can rip the entire team apart by himself, given the opportunity. If you have someone that doesn't really know when and how to engage, then he is just going to feed experience to the opponent. By now, Zeratul is the one to rotate between lanes and get the XP, so everybody else is fighting. But they can still do a fair amount of damage here, as you can see. So they're taking control over the first temple. Now, with the Haka, you could try and also rock the global a bit, but thanks to all of the damage that they did early on, Team Reverse has an opportunity to take the first fort of the game down. That's a real nice effort that they're putting in at the top lane, and that should help them. We have an adjustment on Tychus now too, so he went for In the Rhythm. Did not go into the Master Assassin that we're normally seeing here. Ooh, but that's a kill. Yeah, Greymane is dead, but the fort will go down. They're gonna get that fort for sure. A few more shots, they're not getting all of them. The fort is gone, but so is Uther. But at least Lucio was able to zip into the middle and is now in a spot where they can steal a few more of those shots away, so that's good for him. And Zeratul is still trying to get the experience at the bottom of the map. So yes, there were 3 kills against the red team, but structure make it 4. The aspect of that. But yeah, so they got at least some value out of it. They got the fort at the top lane, they stole a few of the shots away, they have Zeratul still at the bottom in a position to do more damage. More of a Death Coil focus now, even with the Immortal Coil on level 7. So not going for the Icebound Fortitude here, but instead it's Immortal Coil that we're getting. Zeratul is going to move away from this, and has to, because, well, not only is he low, but another hit would have been his demise. They might even be able to go... Nah, they're getting too much assistance right now. They could have made a play for Tychus. So 1 fort is down. Structural advantage for Team Reverse. Experience lead then again in the hand of the Space-Time Warriors. And the boss is coming up in another 13 seconds, with both teams now looking towards additional camps to be taken. But there's only 1 Siege Giant camp on the map now. So, yeah, there it is. Okay, so let's go. There's a play for Lucky. Is anybody making a play for the boss? It would be funny. I would not put it past... Like, normally you would never see this, right? But I wouldn't pass it the Chinese teams that at some point they're just saying, like, Leroy! Just move on for the boss and just brawl it out there. I can totally believe that. We've seen such crazy plays from them already that that would be a thing. The Warp Skirmisher is in. Okay. So yeah, the build is a bit all over the place that we're seeing from him right now. But he's about to complete his level 1 and there's a level 10. So insta Odin. Insta. Not even hesitating. Nope. He's straight at it. He's like, we want that fountain. Let's take that down. Let's push that lane and drop Odin right away. Escort those siege giants and they're going to do work with this. There's level 10 on both sides. It is Tormented Souls. We get the Divine Shield. The Might of the Nerazim is into. And now we might even see a party at the bottom. Look at Zeratul. Zeratul is just playing the side lane game. He saw Sonya in the last game. He's like, I can do that too. So another one down. Adaptation for Dehaka. So even, I mean, that's kind of crazy. They have Syndragosa. What the hell? This game. Syndragosa is in. We have on top of that Dehaka with adaptation. This is wild. Some of these ults are just wild. And I love the pick on Arthur's. Captain Hitsugaya would be absolutely proud that we finally have Hiromaru in the game again. So off we go. Syndragosa is in. Not even against structures. He just YOLO'd it on the team. Like, what the fuck? He just YOLO'd it on the team. I mean, with the absolute 0, I get it. But dude, we're not on 20 yet. So he just came and he was like, let's go. And then the dragon came out and did fuck all because Lucio simply popped his own ult and used the sound barrier. So off we go. Here comes the play for the Shrine. We don't have a single kill yet for Team Reverse, but structurally they're winning. Structurally they're winning. And that's something that the Space Time Warriors are now trying to change by going for the push at the bottom. So here comes the jump. Yeah. And there's the Divine Shield play. Or potentially, no, it's on cooldown right now, so they can't use it. Tormented Souls is up, so they could use that now too. I miss Zeratul here though. And Dehaka could of course come down and help out. So here we go. This is the moment to really retry and claim a couple of shots themselves, and it's exactly what happens. So Lucio is sliding off, but they got a few shots and they still hold the position to an extent. And Dehaka dies to Zeratul, gets soloed at the top with adaptation. Are you kidding me? With adaptation? Okay, never even popped this ult. There's the sound barrier again, and it's party time at the bot lane. Right now, Tormented Souls is in, the Divine Shield is ready. They have Malthael at the top, and the Divine Shield denies Diablo the engage with the Apocalypse. Zeratul, he's still side laning. Zeratul is like, help out in the team fight? Are you kidding me? I risk dying if I do that. No. That's not how we play this. So he goes into the mid lane instead, and he drops another fort, so they take that out too. 4 kills to 1 now. And yeah, I don't know, they're still ahead in structures and in experience. So it is a spicy one. I swear to God, we're going to see that YOLO play on the boss. So in we go. Now we have Tarn coming in. 4 kills to 1. Obviously also our fort still very, very low. Can't do anything about that. Both with the Siege Giants. 30,000 damage on Tychus, by the way. Oh, and the bullet! Ah, that one hit hard. Yeah, Malthael is taking a camp up at the top. And it's time to maybe even go for another battle. But we have another double temple coming up. So there's going to be a temple up at the top lane. There's going to be a temple in the bottom of the map. And the boss is still juicy right here. Up for the taking. Who's going to make the move for it first? Zeratul pretty much just has decided that with his level 7 he's going to get the wave clear in. He's going to sit on those side lanes. Every now and then he's attempting to make maybe a kill happen. But yeah, it's an interesting playstyle. I haven't seen him in teamfight trying to work yet. So against Arthur, you gotta be real careful because that bad boy can lock you down heavily. But down here, it's only Diablo that's helping, and Dibbles is getting crushed by this. Yeah, Dibbles needs to be real careful. Really? Tormented Souls? What? Why? Did he... yeah. Syndragosa again, but not doing enough. But Tormented Souls in that situation, sometimes I really feel they're just fat-fingering that button way too hard. The amount of ults that are pressed in the almost awkward situation in game number 1, 2, and now 3 is just wild. So now everybody's on the run. Zeratul is still not here. He's playing the Specialist this time. And you know, in that fight, that's when Tormented Souls might have been kind of nice. When we had an actual fight. When you're chasing Diablo, and the rest of the team moves in, I don't think so. Now Zeratul, he is taking the wave down top, and now he's going for the temple. So the shots are fired, and another fort will fall. But down here, there's another engage against Uther. Divine Shield is still up, but it's Lucio that pops the ult first and goes for the sound barrier. And they're diving in deep. That fort is already gone. The Haka can't do anything about it, so everybody's fighting for the temple at the bottom of the map. But we still have the play with the APOC. And Divine Shield is still up, and the blue team is losing ground, and they're losing it fast. The double support is keeping the 4-man alive. They're just topping this off. The amount of sustain they have is nuts. And as you can tell, the keep is already taking damage, because up at the top, Zeratul is doing his thing. He might have screwed up a little bit, but he's still fine. So yeah, shots are fired, and the keep barely survives. They even have a level 16, and they go for boss. Like, the game is wild. The game is absolutely wild at this point. Team Reverse is going for damage, is sustaining through. Zeratul is controlling the side lanes. He's not even joining a battle. But here comes the play for boss. And now the big question, of course, has Reverse just fucked up? Have they screwed up here? Well, the Haka is dead, so maybe not. Everybody's going on the point. Zeratul is going to join the first team fight, and they're going to murder them, aren't they? They're going to absolutely murder them. There's the kill, there's the double kill. And, oh my god, everybody dead and dying. But the blue team is falling, and the double kill towards the end seals the 5-man team wipe. What the hell? Check this fight out again, guys. Towards the end there, the fiesta. The Haka dies first, and then everybody and their grandmother gets murdered. I mean, everyone's dying. The 5-man wipe against the blue team as the double kill towards the end comes in. And the shots are, by the way, being fired already at the bot lane by the temple, and the boss is chipping in even more. So this keep is likely going to fall. And it's just nasty how much ground the Space-Time Warriors are currently losing here. It's absolutely insane. Because now the boss is doing damage, the shots at the bot lane are still doing damage. That keep is not going to make it. No, it's not going to make it. They're going to lose the first keep of the game here. Zeratul is working overtime up at the top, that he gets the next keep. And no matter what Zeratul gets paid, he's not getting paid enough. Zeratul has 140,000 siege damage. Now his hero damage is hot garbage. 13k. Uther has pretty much done more than you at this point. It's at least close. But his siege damage? Damn, son. 140,000. That is just nasty. So, yeah, side lane Zeratul. That's what we're seeing. And together with Lucio, it seems like they're gonna go for that top keep. And there's nobody here. There's nobody. They're rotating. They're coming in. But if... I mean, Zeratul could have committed Sudoku to get the keep and he would have gotten it. Cap is coming up. And there's the team fight. 19 against 17. Syndra goes Apocalypse. But the sound barrier. Beautiful play by Lucio. Down goes Diablo. Malfurion dies. And they are on the chase. And this time Zeratul is showing no mercy. He comes in with the kills. There's a level 20. I don't even know what that does. Divine Protection. Okay. That's wild, but alright. Never seen this taken before in my life. Divine Protection and the Shadow Strike. And there's the kill. That's another 5-man wipe. Team Reverse, ladies and gentlemen. They take it. A 3-0 victory for the red team. Nicely done. 11 kills to 6. A flawless series for them as they move on to the next round of the losers bracket. GG and well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.